So, hello everyone, welcome back to a new video of HarstemCasts. Today, in the top right spawning as the Red Terran player, playing for Team Shopify's Rebellion. And of course is going to be ByuN. And in the bottom left spawning as the Blue Protoss player, playing for Team Africa StarCraft 2. Is going to be Stats, Mr. Stats. What are your plans here, Mr. Stats? What are your plans here, Mr. ByuN? This is a game from the Oli Molly that was played today. Unless you watch this video tomorrow, then it was played yesterday, etc, etc. We see Stats opening up with a standard 1-gate expand. Interesting little wall that he has built there. I like this one. I do like this one. I like how this looks. Pylon not vulnerable in the wall. This is a nice looking wall. You can even build one of the buildings a little bit further back. It's not going to be hidden from a Reaper, but it potentially could be hidden from a Reaper. Now, ByuN is one of the guys that has been very consistent in not giving a crap about what his opponent is doing. He most of the time doesn't even really send out an SCV. This time he is going to be doing it. Sends out an SCV and but is of course going to follow it up with a Marine. This is ByuN in a nutshell. At least has been ByuN in a nutshell for the past 3 months or so. Even though he initially, back in 2016, was very well known for his Reaper micro. Nowadays it feels like he doesn't really want to control the Reaper anymore. And he's just happy with opening up that Marine. We see Stats proxying a pylon here, and ByuN, he doesn't 100% know that, but he sees the lack of a second pylon on the low ground, and that is a big tell, because very often when there's no low ground pylon, this can mean either two things. Either it means that we're seeing the parting build, which is a 3-gate with a proxy gateway, very quick 5 adapt attack, or we are going to be seeing something along the lines of a proxy Stargate. And we're seeing ByuN go for a second Rex, an eBay. I wonder if this is going to be 3 Rex. Oh yes, it is going to be 3 Rex. He's still on a single gas as well. He's going to be getting that +1 very, very rapidly here on those Marines. Wouldn't be surprised to see some type of move out with all of those Marines, with +1, perhaps with Stim as well at the same time. Stats, however, opening up with that proxy Stargate. Let's see what his plans are. Most likely going to be an Oracle. I've been seeing some builds lately though, where people build a Void Ray. Stats isn't one of those people, however. I've been watching replays from people at like 5.5k MMR, and this type of opener sometimes goes into Void Ray, even though it's very, very rare that this happens at the highest level. I actually discussed one of those builds with MaxPax the other day, and MaxPax was like, yeah, I don't quite understand how Terran can get in a good position if Toss saves up 3 Void Rays. And I was like, MaxPax, how in the world are you gonna hide the fact that you're saving up 3 Void Rays? Like, yeah, I'm not quite sure about that part yet, but the build sounds good. So maybe in the future we'll see MaxPax try something like that. But for now, let's focus on what this Oracle is going to be capable of doing. It's gonna fly into the main base. What does it see? It sees 3 barracks. It sees a triple Rex. It sees a bunch of Marines. And it's, okay, it didn't see the turret, so it isn't necessarily aware. Stats isn't necessarily aware that there is a fast +1 as well. It's going to move out across the map with these 2 Stalkers. Now, not an opponent of that. I'm not a hater of this move. I'm a lover, you could even say it. I like this move. Okay, loving, yeah, I do love this move. I really do love this move. He's just gonna poke forward. He realizes there's no bunker. He knows his timings. He knows Stim can't be done yet. And he's just gonna poke forward. And now ByuN is like, wait a second, I'm actually gonna need a bunker against this clown. This guy walks across the map with 2 Stalkers, 4 minutes and 33 seconds into the game, and look at Stats control is so crazy good. So consistent. Money staying low, and just hardly taking any damage on the Stalkers. Of course, he's taking a little bit of damage, but as little as possible. And he's already killed. Oh, that was nasty. He lost a Stalker while I put up the unit stab. So all of that hard work basically has been ruined now. Unit loss still slightly in his favor, but not as great as it probably should have been. Blink is not going to finish before Stim does. Now, of course, ByuN doesn't know that 100%. He can kind of guess it, though. I mean, Blink can't really be done at 5 minutes and 10 seconds into the game after an Oracle opener. If ByuN Stim finishes and Stats tries to poke up again, Blink isn't done yet. There could be a lot of dead Stalkers, but instead what we're seeing is that ByuN is probably wanting to preserve these units. He's just going to keep them here on the ramp. There's a couple of his Marines into this bunker. As a couple of extra Marauders are popping out of his... Hello? Starboard, where are we going? Meow. Gonna fly back straight onto that reactor. Concussive... Did he just cancel concussive? Oh, he probably didn't have gas for the medevacs. That has to be it, right? Okay, restarts concussive again. There we go, ByuN. You absolute legend. Of course you know what you're doing. I'm not sure why I doubt sometimes. I'm such a doubter. Shouldn't be allowed when ByuN is playing. It's a crap ton of stalkers, by the way. A fun little thing here is that Stats is cutting a lot of infrastructure in favor of more units quickly. So we see a very high stalker count, very good economy as well, but this is the peak. There's basically in the next few minutes, Stats is going to be floating a lot of money while he needs to try and get his infrastructure down. And this is inherent to what style he's playing. So you probably saw a high number or a high amount of money, but that's kind of inherent because he needs to throw down his infrastructure all at once in order to get such a high unit count, because he produced a lot of units on a low gateway count and he was producing economy, extra gases, extra pylons, and now that he isn't producing extra probes anymore, doesn't need extra gases, all of a sudden, basically what's happening... Oh my god. What's happening here is that I think ByuN might be hitting a timing where Stats isn't quite ready. I think Stats wanted to peak with his army at around 550 and then have a weaker timing afterwards, but he didn't quite manage to deal as much damage as he wanted to with those initial stalkers. He's going to be taking quite a bit of damage here. Lost a lot of stalkers already. Resources lost is in favor of ByuN with that +1, is doing a lot of damage as well. And this actually is looking really, well, not really bad for Stats, but it started looking kind of bad for Stats, and now I kind of don't mind his position anymore. He thwarts this attack, he destroys it. It looked very scary for a second. Third CC is on the way. Upgrades are going to be quite a bit better for ByuN. ByuN still on 3 racks production though. No racks 4 and 5 is going to go for a double drop. We see the complete lack of... I was going to say complete lack of vision here on the map, except for these scouting buildings. The classic scouting Stargate. We all know it. He's actually gonna figure out that there is a drop here. Somehow Stats already warped in a couple of units in the main base though, so he is familiar with the patterns that ByuN likes to use. You see supply tilting into the favor of Stats now, which isn't great for ByuN, as the Stats' extra gateways have finally finished. He should be at 8. Okay, he's at 7. He's gonna get at 8 gateways, building a prism, getting armor upgrade. I don't like this. What is this move out? I'm not a fan of this at all, Stats. This is so risky. He's gonna lose a lot of supply here. He's gonna lose a lot of these expensive sentries, a lot of these expensive immortals as well. 2 immortals go down, I believe. One of the sentries went down, and a bunch of stalkers as well. And once again, Stats falling behind in the unit loss step. And sure, his eco was better for a long portion of the game, but now it should actually even up as the 3rd orbital command is on the way here. We see a revelation on this army. I think Stats should eventually be able to push at least this army back, but needs another warp in for that, that's for sure. Needs to fight at these batteries. We have 2 Templar already gaining a bit of energy. No more units in the main base. Prism starts moving out on the map. There's potential here for a lift into the main base. I think Stats is aware of that. I think ByuN is aware of that as well. Yep, there we go. The moment the revelation wears off. No, wait, revelation is still there. Doesn't give a crap. He's like, oh, you can see it. That's nice and all, but if my mines burrow in your main base, that might be an issue. ByuN actually doesn't trust it and goes back to the low ground. Good micro here coming out of Stats, taking out these mines one by one. A couple more mines on the low ground. Good pickup. ByuN's micro is so solid. So solid. Is there an armory yet? Yes, there's an armory. There's barracks 4 and 5. There's a second eBay. Ooh, interesting move forward here coming out of ByuN, who doesn't have a lot of units, but the units that he has are being controlled rather well. All of these... Oh my god, that was a great mine split. Realizing that these mines were taking a bit too much damage from these storms, and he just moves them up and runs them away, so not 4 mines can get hit by a single storm. Now there's no more storms left remaining here. I don't understand how ByuN fights with this army, and how does he fight so well? Targets down stalkers with his marauders, because you know the armor type of stalkers is worst against the anti-armored of what you call it, the damage that the marauder does. So good target fire there coming out of ByuN. ByuN, I don't quite understand how he does it, but every single time he takes a fight, I'm like, well, this fight surely isn't gonna go so well. But the micro of these guys is just so freaking solid. It's actually crazy, and I feel like Stats a couple of times was thinking the same thing as I was, and he was like, well, there's no way this fight doesn't go well for me, right? Like, just have more stuff and it is good. Like the fight over here was really bad though. It's kind of a turnaround in this game. I'm not saying that ByuN is really far ahead because his upgrades aren't brilliant. Stats is getting 2-2 before his opponent. He has double robo, he has a robo bait, there's no fourth base yet. Like all of these things kind of make it okay for Stats, but Stats does need to be careful here. Okay, it is possible that he dies. It is possible that he dies. If these mines get into a good position, there's 11 mines right now, and yes, Salad Storm is good. But if there's this many mines and they get into a position where they burrow and the bio units are capable of attacking your buildings, that really could be an issue. It's really important here for Stats to ensure that that doesn't happen. Oh my god, this Oracle's actually gonna miss it. There's gonna be a massive drop into the main base. Is Stats ready? There's 5 Stalkers. We'll be able to 2-shot Medivacs, but this is 6 Medivacs, and we'll get a single Medivac that still had 3 units in it, but now there's 11 mines in the main base. Funnily enough, very little actual units. There's 6 Marauders here and what, like 4 or 5 Marines? So the bio damage output shouldn't be too high. The forward base is being cancelled here on the right side. ByuN's building his own forward base. Ghosts are hitting the field as well. 2-2 is halfway done and ByuN leaves this base. Perhaps not being the happiest that he lost all of those mines. But he's going to be pretty okay with the fact that he killed the base on the right side, or at least cancelled the base on the right side. And now he's even doing it. Whoa. Okay, yeah, that's a battery, my friend. Look at that. That's an overcharge battery. That's no regular battery. That's an overcharge battery, okay? You can try your best there, ByuN, but that ain't happening, okay? That ain't happening. Good attempt though, buddy. Good attempt. He's human after all. He believed that he could kill a disruptor through a super battery. Aye. 2-2 upgrades about to finish up for Stats, who is getting more disruptor. Look at his map vision, is so bad. Such poor map vision, of course, a product of the fact that he had no robotics facility for a long time, was trusting on that Oracle for so long. Does this have super speed? Oh yes, it has super speed. Disruptor's trying to zone out this army here. Is anything on the left side? There's a double mine drop, of course. Armory is done already, so these mines will be invisible once they burrow. There is some mobile detection right now at this point already. ByuN wanted to drop the mines at the forward base. We're like, wait a second, you actually have nothing at your forward base. Can't actually drop there. Prism with the high speed managed to warp into the main base. ByuN calls in the cavalry and see if Stats will be able to stop the cavalry. Capable of doing what Jonah Louis sang about in 1981. Wait, what's happening here? I see things exploding on my screen. I can't remember where it happened. This mine still needs to shoot. This mine isn't going to shoot anymore. There's mines over here that are somehow also hit something. There's zealots. Look at the map vision now for Stats. I like this a lot. A couple of zealots just spread around. It's going to give him a fair warning before something happens. This Prism has been a legend, by the way. Just recalling out time after time, but I think this is the... Oh! Why am I worried? This is the end for you, my friend. As the Vikings are there. No. He's not going to go in yet. Ship weapons level 1 finishes up. We have +3 on the way here for ByuN. No extra upgrades yet for Stats. Disruptor gets a mediocre hit. No super battery here, meaning that all of these units aren't doing as well as they probably would like to. Especially these Immortals usually are a little bit more powerful. What? Just storms his own units accidentally. A little bit of a misclick coming there out of Stats. And a little bit of a mispronunciation coming out of Harstem. GG gets called and ByuN. He is human. He is human after all, as he tried to kill a disruptor through a battery, but he did manage to win this game, managed to take out Stats. Alright, these replays were from the Oli Molly. Thanks so much for them, for having them on their Patreon. And thank you all for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, leave the thumbs up, and leave a comment down below telling me what game you would like to see next, and I'll try my best to get it. Bye bye.